You don't play, you don't play.
Well, when Freddie first told me the name, at first I'm like, No Mercy? What the hell is No Mercy? Like, that ain't no basketball name. Like Lakers, Magic. I'm like, he's like, no, it's No Mercy. And it was funny because the first year it was just No Mercy. And so I think, and everyone was kind of like, what? No Mercy? Like, that ain't cool. Like, no. And then it was No Mercy for Failure. And then when we had that kind of a reason and name behind it and the meaning behind it, they were like, oh, okay, I kind of get it. Like, but at first, yeah, it was, I think Freddie got the blunt of it because he came up with No Mercy and that was his thing. And I know a lot of them were, I don't know what was said to him, be honest with you, but if we both know Freddie, that was just gonna make him push even harder. So you're gonna see No Mercy everywhere now.
Yeah, they didn't want No Mercy at first, and the reason being is they go with the sportsmanship thing here. And that's another major problem that's here in Spokane, Washington. You got a lot of kids that might get beat by 50, 60 points. And that's unsportsmanlike here. And those are the kids that's not gonna go very far either, in my point of view, because you have to teach a kid to compete, right? And it's not all about everybody get a turn. You really have to work for what you got. It's no mercy for you. If you come into this place of business and you think that you're gonna take Mike's job, you got something coming. Because Mike's ready to work to go support his family and make a living so he can make his family keep going up the spectrum. So you're gonna have to work extremely hard to get that. It's not given to you. Everybody don't get a trophy. So I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that at all. So I'm not gonna have mercy for you on that court. There's no mercy for you. Because my kids work around the clock to get better, to beat you. I'm not gonna tell them from doing all that work, running all those miles, doing all those push-ups, all those drills that we give them, all that hollering and screaming in practice so they can hear our voice vibrating through their body to give them energy to keep pushing, to slow down because you decided to play Nintendo, you decided to go to the lake, you decided to eat your cupcakes and hang out with your girlfriend, and you decided not to work out and put forth your best effort. I should give you mercy. No. It's no mercy. So you need to go ahead and pick your chin up, and your parents need to go ahead and tell you, you need to work out harder, maybe leave that video game alone, maybe stop playing with that girlfriend you got there, maybe stop going outside, eating all them candy bars and acting all foolish around the corner. You need to get to the gym, because when you play against Freddie's gym, he's not giving you no mercy. I'm going to expose every bad habit you got. If you're a smoker, you're gonna cough today, very bad.
Like, if you're not ready, that's not our fault, that's your fault. So that drew a lot of animosity towards teams because it was like unsportsmanlike. That's how they looked at it. But then when they started going over to Seattle and going to these other tournaments and they seen these teams over there that were doing the same thing, it was like, wait a minute. Like, that's how this game's supposed to be played at a high level. So then it was like, oh, okay, because even Giff, love her to death, but she was one that she was honest, and she's the sweetest lady in the world. But Freddie, Andre, take it easy, But then it was like, wait a minute, like, these guys they're doing something, because they started seeing the product. Like, they started seeing these kids, and then all of a sudden these kids coming in from Seattle playing with us, and we started putting together travel teams and doing stuff like that. Then it was like, okay, now we see what they're doing, and now, like I said, it's almost like a domino effect. Once you get a few of them, now everyone's like, oh, okay, now I get it. So I think that was where the big target was. But like I said, now it's like Fraser, it's all love. Everybody, they're all for us, we're all for them, and we were all in it for everyone to begin with. I think the perception was like we were just almost like the piston, like the bad boys. But we just wanted to be successful. I mean, just like they did, but we just worked hard at it, so.
So when you teach a kid that now about no mercy for failure, they carry that all the way through life. You know, it ain't just about basketball. I don't know what kid's gonna go on and play basketball for a living, but I can tell you this, every last one of our kids are gonna be pros in life. I can tell you that when they leave us, they're gonna have it in their mind. There's no mercy for failure. When it's time to lay down, they're not laying down. They're gonna stay up and they're gonna keep working and they're gonna accomplish their mission. That's what it's all about. It ain't about, well, man, what kid you gonna get to the league? What kid you gonna get there? If they succeed and go that far, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. But my main goal is when they done with basketball, they got their degrees and they're pros in life, and then we're on to something. We're good to go.
We would always tell them, the main things we told them is this: your family is always gonna come first, no matter what you do in life. The second thing that you have to do and accomplish, because we pushed it big time. In fact, we pushed it so much, we wanted to see your report cards, because if your grades weren't right, you weren't playing. There was no if, and, or buts about it. We weren't dealing with D's. We wanted to see B's. C's kind of got you over the edge. You know, as Mama would say, that's just getting you over the top, baby. That ain't what you're really capable of. And quit playing at that level, because you're better than that.
It's just more than basketball with them. I think a lot of times with the past teams I had, you were just so set on basketball. And that's just not the case with Fred. And, you know, Fred is really a nice guy, and he definitely pushes you, and that's one of my favorite things about him. Not only on the court, just like pushing us and things like that, but off the court as well with, you know, they keep track of kind of what we're doing outside of school, if we're getting in trouble, things like that. If we are, they'll offer help, you know, just kind of that. They're always watching over you a little bit, and that's always really nice to have.
So like growing up in that and having that philosophy and having Fred drill that into our heads, like just how it is now. Hard work and dedication. I mean, it can apply to anything in life, like working hard in school, being dedicated to it, trying to get those good grades, your job, anything.
Shit out of here.
So when we initially came to Spokane, and Jaden played on 2 clubs prior to No Mercy, Hard Work and Dedication, the first club had a coach that we call it Daddy Ball, and so that was a disaster. The second coach it was Daddy Ball as well. However, it was entitled Daddy Ball, so there was no conditioning. And I can remember after that year thinking, I gotta find something different. This is not gonna work. The ability to condition and to fundamentally work on the skills that enhance your game is one of the things that I think No Mercy has over all of the AAU programs.
6th grade, I was not good at all. And then I got in with Freddie, and he pretty much every summer has been working me. And then that's basically, I want to thank Freddie and my dad for where I am from 6th grade to now, and I think I've got way better. My quickness, I was never as quick as I was back in 6th grade compared to now. And that's from all Freddie's ladder drills and all the shadle footwork we do. And probably just being able to get to the rim strongly. And that's just like little stuff that Freddie does with us, just pushing us with pads and stuff.
For me, when I came to No Mercy, I wasn't really an inside presence at all. I kind of focused on the outside stuff a lot, just shooting jump shots, because that's kind of what I liked before. And when I got there, they definitely made me a lot stronger and things like that. So I've definitely developed a lot better of an inside game. Now I'm looking to score every time I get the ball. It's just a matter of how often I get the ball, really. So, you know, before when I would get the ball, I was just looking to pass right away, just because, you know, I didn't really want to miss a shot. But, you know, that's not there anymore.
Just like being aggressive, the aggressiveness, us come through a little bit more by playing with them and playing with Fred and being in practices with Fred, and he pushes us. Definitely in better shape. 100% better shape, yeah.
Where I see is getting the kids to understand that anybody can be great, but you have to work. The great guys worked. Kobe Bryant worked, Michael Jordan worked, not just at practice. And they build on that. They'll do, different sports with them. They'll do some boxing for their hand-eye coordination, push them in a building and confident way, which is amazing.
It gives the boys an up, and that's why we have the record that we have. That's why they won 2 titles. So that was a big deal. Because at this age, and back, we've been in it for a long time now. Jaden was 4th grade, or 5th grade, actually. And there wasn't PTA, there wasn't, bricks, there wasn't all of these strength and conditioning places. So they were just, maybe having practice one day a week, and then playing games. Well, when we started with Fred, they practiced 4 days a week. I mean, they had 1 day off, and they usually had 2 games a week. So it was just a totally different mindset. And I knew that Jaden needed that in order to excel.
When my wife and I decided to quit coaching, we kind of ran through the gamut of different styles of clubs. When we were offered a spot to get on the hard work dedication team, we jumped on it and never looked back. And it's been amazing for my son. I can't say enough about it.
Hard Work Dedication Club means to me, it means a lot. It goes through my family, and it just helps me push harder and keeps me going. And you just gotta have no mercy to fail. Everybody's gonna watch, and
you gotta put in hard work, and you gotta be dedicated to your craft. If you don't put in hard work, you're not dedicated to it. I mean, what you doing it for?
For me, it's just going out of my comfort zone, hard work isn't really something you can put a limit on where you started working hard at this amount of time or something during a rep. So I would just say being uncomfortable and constantly trying to be uncomfortable out of your comfort zone. So
just everyone knows us, so like people just always ask about like No Mercy and ask like I've been asked why we're good and stuff, and I always just say like how hard we work and how much we have to run. And they ask like why Freddie and my dad and Pops was like used to coach with us, like why they're always on us, and we're just like it doesn't faze us. They're just pushing us. Freddie and my dad would always like make sure like we're good kids too, to where like even like out in public, like we know how to act, and like that's just like normal discipline. Like we know like when we're out at a tournament that we got to be in bed by 11 or we're gonna have to run outside and Freddie's gonna make us run.
but you're gonna realize that they're always in your corner and you got them there no matter what. It's just like extended family pretty much, you know? It really is a family, and Freddie harps on that, and you can see that in the way we play, and you know, we kind of know where guys are at every time just because we've been playing with each other for so long, you know?
And that just keeps us like better friendship, you know, going out to eat, watching movies and stuff. And that translates to the court, you know, and then we're all just clicking together and creates the chemistry. So, yeah.
I mean, Freddie's been like, I grew up without my dad, so Freddie's been like that coach and that father figure. Just, I mean, taking me under his wing. We go have talks. If something's going on, I go call him, say, what's up, I need you to come pick me up, and we go talk. And Dre, too. Dre's been my coach forever, and he's a dad of my friend, so I look up to both of them.
I told Freddie early on, Freddie, I'm a single woman, I'm a single mom. I can teach Jaden how to be compassionate. I can teach him how to be full of empathy. I can teach him a lot of things. But I can tell you two things that I cannot teach him. I cannot teach him how to be a man, and I cannot teach him how to be a black man. So that's going to be your job. Freddie has risen to that challenge. Whenever I have issues with Jaden or we have things going on in our household, I call Freddie, and Freddie comes. And he picks Jaden up, and they go for a ride, and they have a talk, and he's better when he comes back. So whether we were a filler team or the top team in the tournament, it's always good because it develops that relationships and it cements that relationship that Jaden has with Fred.
As a parent, you know, for me, I was always looking for somebody that can build on the foundation I've laid. And you know, as a parent, sometimes there's parts of that, even that foundation, that need to be rebuilt. But it's always about improvement. You know, for my son, emotionally, you know, maturity. It's not just about basketball. Like I said before, Freddie and every coach that's a part of the Hard Work Dedication Club has always got the boys' best interest at heart.
Remy going up scared, go up and try to bang on him. Once you go up and try to bang, even if you miss it a couple times, they'll start thinking, oh shit, I better be careful next time. Go up, no nice guy. All right, let's get up in the ass right now. Let's go. All right, come on. Let's go. Come on, 1, 2, 3. No mercy.
You know, as a coach, it's just not coaching the sport that you're chosen to coach. It's just, you know, mentoring kids and correcting them, teaching them through a sport. And I chose basketball, but you are teaching them life through the sport, you know. They can be successful at that sport through working hard and staying dedication. And if they are successful through the sport, they can translate to life. Whatever failures they have, having no mercy for failure. They're going to have some trials and tribulations throughout life. We all going to fall. We all have failed. And how they're going to use that sport and that stuff, that the lessons that they learn throughout the sport to help them with their life. Because not everybody's going to make it to the NBA or play overseas. But just being a pro in life is the ultimate goal for us.
I mean, for me personally, coming up, playing the game since, third grade probably, going through all the steps. And I had my biggest mentor was Bernard Mallory, was my coach growing up. I remember watching him, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to be a coach because I used to see all the love he would get, the respect he'd get from the kids. And then when I had my son, I'm like, oh yeah, it's time. Like, I can't wait to get in there. So it's just a huge, I just love the growth. Like for me, like with Freddie and I both now, we see these kids, we started in 5th grade that are getting ready to graduate. Now guys are getting offers from colleges. And that's the biggest privilege, and it's just a blessing, really. I love it. I was ready to retire. Now we got some sixth graders that we're coaching now, so we still at it again. So yeah, so that's like I said, I'll probably won't stop. I can't see myself stopping anytime soon.
The big highlight of the tournament, I'm a family guy. So the big highlight of the tournament was them just being together. And that was, and all the other coaches and directors saying, I love how your team played together.
In my opinion, high school basketball is simply bragging rights. AAU basketball is where you get exposure. So I feel that an AAU tournament is what generates the interest or the, oh, let's see this kid, and then they will watch high school or won't watch high school. I mean, think about it from economically speaking. Are you gonna go to each high school? What's the travel cost? What's the time? All of that. Or are you gonna go to one tournament and see a bunch of kids? I don't think kids get recruited out of high school basketball. I think they get recruited out of AAU, which is why it's become so hot, so important that you get into it.
Because once you get to high school, you know, you don't have your regular AAU season, but your travel ball comes in. And that's when that's your bread and butter. I mean, I think nowadays, like, you don't get the college coaches coming to the high school games sitting in the stands. You know, when they can go to one gym and watch 45 kids versus go to a high school game to watch one, they're going to go to these big tournaments and watch these kids. So I think high school AAU is huge to go on to that next level. I mean, it's beyond important.
The difference between my league and AAU is big, especially in the speed of the game. Kids are a lot more athletic in AAU. For my school, a lot of the kids, basketball isn't even their main sport. So when you run into things like that, obviously there can be a huge skill gap.
My family, my wife and my boys have been in AAU for a long time, and seeking out elite competition, I think is fantastic. You don't see it that much here. You know, you can go to Seattle and that's great, and you can go to Portland and that's great, and there's a lot of fantastic players that come out of both of those areas. But you just see differences all the time, and I love it. I think it's great for him as a person too, my son as a person, to learn how to challenge himself, be the best him that he can be.
I think Freddie and I changed AAU in Spokane because of No Mercy. Because when we first came into AAU was, I wouldn't say it was competitive. It was more like YMCA. I mean, like, you pay to play. And our philosophy was, we're going to make an elite. I mean, AAU to us was elite athletes. So we brought in the most elite kids we could of those age groups and competed at a high level. And teams didn't like that. Like, it was, oh, you're beating us by 40. Okay, well, we're training, you're not. So, I mean, but AAU kind of put you in a blanket, kind of held you to where, well, it's a team, it's that. Well, no, because this is getting ready for the next level. That's what AAU is supposed to do.
If you talk to a lot of recruiters they'll tell you we really don't recruit out of Spokane, Washington. You know, so we try to get our kids out of here to be seen in other places. And then we try to get the attention of other recruiters to come here and take a look. And I think we've done a pretty good job of getting recruiters to come here by getting our guys out of here, taking them different places, camps, and et cetera. Because here in Spokane, I think it's a disservice for certain nationalities coming here to play ball, especially at the AAU level, because a lot of coaches don't know how to coach them so they can be successful. And I won't speak on any particular group, but we coach some of everyone. Doesn't matter what you look like. So we find the talent of it. We look at the talent of it, the skill of it, and we put it to work and try to make it where it's brunt enough so you can get recruited. You know, we don't really. Coaches got that stigma here where if you are a big man, you play like a big man in the 70s and 80s. Well, that's not the way basketball is played anymore. It's up and down the court. You know, No Mercy used to get that stigma of, we don't draw up X and O's, or they don't do this. If you want to learn real basketball, you should go over there. Well, I don't think any of those kids the crop that we got going now, you really know about. You don't know anything about them. Really, if you know about them then, they're not really getting highly recruited. They're not getting highly sought behind. And I can really speak for different coaches. And we get those kids and you really get to see what they're really made of. When you played against them, they was on shackles, and now you take those shackles off and whoo, you see something you never seen before. So that right there gives you a whole lot of energy. And we got a couple of those players right now. I won't say where they came from, but yeah, they had some shackles on them. I don't want you to do this dribble because that's showing off. I don't want you to do this move because you're trying to showboat or you're trying to do this. So that's Spokane ball, and we don't do Spokane ball here in my club.
The schools in the GSL, if you look at the schools in Spokane, Freddie has touched every high school program. He's got 2 kids here, No Mercy kids. He's got No Mercy kids there. He's got No Mercy kids. And normally, especially Jaden's year, which they're 2022 graduates, he's got the top schools, the top athletes have come through the No Mercy program.
Freddie and I were just talking about this, and we were talking about the paper, and we're like going through the kids at first team GSL, second team GSL, and even kids that's come through, and we're like, man, all those kids wore our uniform at one time. or been a part of No Mercy at some point in time. And it's crazy to think that, but it's like at the same time, it's like that's what we expected. Like, we knew if they followed the steps, the success was going to be there. And so to sit back and watch these kids now, I mean, kids, like I said, kids getting offers. I mean, even our younger kids. I mean, Jamil, my nephew, sophomore, league MVP. I mean, come on. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment.
I mean, and all of them is MVP of their team here in Spokane. Like, they have made MVP or they've gotten first league, all league. So if you talk about those players, they're the top of the food chain here, and they all come from our club. So that's a good thing to look at. And I had a parent bring that up to me not too long ago about all our players at the top, all our players are the highest recruited out of Spokane, and all our players are the top, none second.
One year we had, what was it, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade championship out there. We had every team in the finals. There was 4 teams, there was 5 teams, them 4 finals. 4 of them teams was No Mercy. 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. No Mercy was in the finals against whoever 4 you want to bring.
Yeah. One but one.
He didn't even believe it. I said, don't you know we got finals every game?
I would say to this day, No Mercy is successful because if we took the group like I said, we started with to see where they're at today. I mean, we've got guys that are on honor roll, guys that are 4.0 students. We got guys that are getting recruited by Princeton, Howard, Ivy League schools. I mean, that's the success stories. I mean, we can win 1,000 tournaments. We've won national tournaments. We've won the league. I don't know how many years in a row, but the success is what happens after basketball, and that's what we're starting to see with these kids that are. I mean, whether it be a Division I scholarship, whether it be academics. I mean, we got kids that are getting academic scholarships. That's the success stories that I want to be able to go back and talk about to my grandkids and kids and tell them, it's way bigger than basketball. And that was the one thing Freddie and I, when we started it, was everyone thought, oh, these guys are just a bunch of coaches that want to win. No, like, we want our kids to win in life. Like, it's not just about basketball. We don't want them. We know they're going to be successful on this court. We're not worried about that. We want them to be successful once they step off this court. And that's the big one for me.